second matchup of the day. So once again, I'm Tasty Bacon, joined by Cyber Owl, who is now unmuted. There we go. Cyber Owl. Is there a Cyber Owl there?
Oh, you actually unmute me before we start this time.
I'm getting better at this. Either way, we are all set to go. Both teams are in the lobby, and as soon as they give themselves the readies, we are going to be jumping on in to the champion pick and ban phase. Again, it is going to be Oblivion versus Static, and we are now getting underway as we speak. Oh, or my client will crash. That was interesting.
Oh boy.
That was very interesting. My entire client just completely shut itself. So, gonna be launching that back up. Oh no, I'm not in the pick and ban phase now.
You want me to be the radio for it?
Go ahead.
Let's do it. Alright, so Xerath being banned out on the side of Oblivion, Morgana the follow-up ban, Sejuani coming out of Oblivion as well, and then Jinx coming out of Static. Remember guys, Oblivion is on the blue side, Static is on the red side. So far it looks like they're waiting for their third ban. Xerath being banned out, very high range mid lane poke champion. Scales very well towards the mid game, struggles a bit late game if he's not able to land his abilities or gets caught, but still a really good pick to get off the board. 3 seconds left for them to pick their final ban, and it's gonna be Maokai on the side of Oblivion. Static going to be following up with a ban, not too sure what it's gonna be, considering they banned Morgana and Jinx. I wouldn't be surprised to see another bot lane oriented ban, and no, it actually ends up being LeBlanc in the mid lane being banned away. So Gragas being hovered over by Forest of Eagles here. And curious to see if he's actually going to lock that in. Gragas, even though he is one of the top tier junglers currently, one of the junglers that has been seeing a big resurgence is Amumu, as well as Jarvan. So it would be interesting to see if they actually lock that in, or maybe go for a more carry-oriented style jungler.
Yeah, it is going to be, I mean, a lot of people still like going for those really big tanky junglers, getting the Cinderhulk enchantment being still such a strong item. However, that is not the only, contrary to popular belief, Cinderhulk champions are not the only viable champions in the jungle. So they will have a couple of options. Once again, for anyone just tuning in, the streamer's client, my client,
yeah, don't say streamer, they'll assume it's Bishop, say it's you.
Well, I kind of wanted them to just assume it's Bishop because it's funnier that way. But my client crashed during the champion select, like shortly after we got in.
Sorry to cut you off there, but they did lock in the Gragas, and then immediately coming out of Static, they locked in Skarner, as well as Thresh as their first 2 picks. Jungler and support picked for Static there.
So that's going to be interesting. I mean, we've seen similar things in the past. Obviously, there's still a lot to go in what they are going to actually pick for the rest of the team, but we'll have to see what they decide to use to complement that.
And just waiting on Dunazuka and Tess. They're not even hovering over champions. They're just waiting, probably just to pick, discussing it, and then they'll pick instantly. And that's going to be Kalista and Kennen being locked in here for Oblivion. That Pikachu bot lane is going to be extremely powerful against whoever they decide to pick up, because especially once they hit level 6, Kalista uses Fate's Call, throws Kennen in, who uses the Slicing Maelstrom, and then it's just so much AoE damage combined with the innate burst damage that comes out of Kalista after stacking up her spears and then using Rend. It's just going to be so devastating in that bot lane.
Alright, so go over one more time. Who was banned by Static on the red side?
Who was banned by Static?
Yes.
Morgana, Jinx, LeBlanc.
Alright, and who have they picked so far?
And currently, Static actually just locked in Lucian as well as Shyvana. So currently, the champions that are picked, Oblivion has Gragas, Callista, and Kennen, where Static has Skarner, Thresh, Shyvana, and Lucian. So what do you think? So what do you think about that bot lane, the Callista, Kennen, Pikachu bot lane?
Callista, Kennen, Pikachu bot lane.
That's the name of the lane. It's the Pikachu lane.
I've never heard it called the Pikachu lane, but give me a second. I'm trying to get the picks and base to show up on the screen. Let's see. So who's picked for Oblivion so far?
Oblivion has Gragas, Callista, and Kennen.
And who did they ban?
Xerath, Sejuani, Maokai. And they just locked in Trundle as well as Orianna on the side of Oblivion. So the full rounded team of Oblivion is going to be Gragas, Callista, Kennen, Orianna, and Trundle.
Alright, so just one more ban to come from Static. Or one more pick, sorry, not ban. That would be a very strange... Well, not very strange. I mean, it's how other games do it. But I actually kind of want to see the pick ban phase get reworked by Riot into one to kind of more match like Dota, where you do bans, then a couple picks, then more bans, and then the rest of your picks. I think that would be a really cool, interesting way to change up the pick and ban phase.
And actually, it's going to be Veigar picked up here for Static. I'm a little surprised to see that, considering he is up against an Orianna.
Yeah, definitely a strange pick, because usually you want to pick Veigar into someone who's a little bit more aggressive, and Orianna is definitely not super aggressive. I mean, yeah, she can poke, but there's not going to be too many opportunities to just catch her with that Event Horizon and then dropping everything onto her face. However, late game, he will be able to just kind of look in Orianna's direction, fire off that ultimate, and kill her. But we'll have to see how it plays out during the laning phase.
I'd have to agree, but I personally feel like the bot lane for... What's it? For Callista, for Oblivion with... No. Static with the... No, wait. Hold on.
Oblivion has Callista Kennen.
There you go. I'm looking at it and I'm stumbling. Oh my god. I feel like that bot lane is going to be really hard to deal with for Kennen, or for Thresh and Lucian, simply due to the fact that it's a lot of long-range poke that Kennen can bring. Just keep throwing out those Thunder Shurikens over and 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 over. And since he doesn't have a mana pool, it's just going to be really obnoxious to deal with, unless they could get a really good engage onto him, and where they could like shut him down or just force him to think twice about it.
Yeah, it's going to be an extremely difficult lane to deal with. There's, like you mentioned, it's just so much poke and harass from those two. Not to mention, if Kennen gets a stun onto somebody, it gives Callista so much free time to put all those spears into them and then rend them out. And they could have some trouble with it, being the Thresh and Lucian. Of course, Thresh able to save people in some pretty absurd ways with that lantern, the Dark Passage, pulling people out of situations where they otherwise would have been a guaranteed kill. It'll be definitely interesting to see how the matchups play out. Top lane, Trundle versus Shyvana. It should be pretty even for the most part early on. Shyvana, I feel like, will have a slight advantage, but once they start getting high, once they get some levels under them, Trundle's going to be able to just steal away so many tanky stats from Shyvana that neither of them is really going to be able to kill each other. And then, of course, Gragas and Skarner. Gragas is actually a really strong jungler in the current meta. Skarner is up there, but he's not at the level of like a Gragas and Sejuani and champions like that. So they both still have some pretty solid impact in the late game, but it's going to be really important for Skarner to pick and choose his ganks very carefully.
So, I vote blue team to win. They're in LCS order. That's gonna be my contribution to this.
That's always a very heavy deciding factor. For us, at least. All right, so we are going to be having a bit of technical difficulties here because of my client crash.
You're gonna be having a bit of technical difficulty.
No, it is the we, but because of the client crash, I may not be able to actually get back into the game to spectate. So we are going to try and hopefully get Cyber set up to stream everything for us, so that you all can see the action as it plays out. So yeah, just sit tight for now, guys. We will be getting the game up and broadcast to you as soon as we possibly can.
Bacon. Bacon.
What's up? I'm muted on the stream.
Send me the damn stream key.
Getting it now.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
All right, guys, the stream is going to be coming offline for just a moment so that Cyber Owl can bring it back up. And at that point, we'll be getting on into the action for you. So just sit tight for 1 second. We will be right back. All right, stream is offline.
All right, and we are back live. So, nothing really happening so far in this game. Tasty Bacon's just going to be giving some off commentary based on what I say, I assume. Man, if only somebody didn't break their client.
Yeah, that would be wonderful if Riot didn't have a broken client that decided to crash at random.
Of course not. Of course not. So we are going to be seeing Ninja Kiwis as Skarner with that new Guardians of the Sand skin. That actually looks pretty nice. I'm a little surprised they gave him a new skin considering he just got Battlecast Skarner though, so I'm a little off about that. But he is going to be starting on the Gromp as well as Dunazuka on that Gragas. Or it's also starting Gromp.
Yeah, pretty standard start as far as junglers go, so nothing too surprising in that sense.
Just making sure that everything is running smoothly. Just give me a moment.
It all looks good to me. I have the stream open and it's looking good.
All right. So we already see in the bot lane Literal and Shaka Ka pushing in Monkey Dude and Raunchy Spider. They really want to make sure to get an early lead on that Kalista Kennen, just so they can keep denying Lucian and Thresh. Because if they keep it up, they'll be able to really do well towards the mid and late game. Because they'll just have an item advantage as well as having them with a huge experience and gold deficit. Monkey Dude taken down to very moderate HP there, actually. Just due to that Kennen, too. The Kalista's not really doing much in harass. The Shaka Ka on this Kennen is doing a fantastic job. But there's a death sentence, and that's going to also be the piercing light coming out of Lucian, landing onto Shaka Ka, taken extremely low there. Forced to pop a couple of health pots there, just so he can maintain that HP. So what do you think the laning phase is going to be like going towards the mid game as it hits where people start to hit level 6?
The video has frozen on the stream, just to let you know.
You know what? Hold on.
We apologize for the technical difficulties, guys. These ones are on Cyber Owl's end now, though, so I don't get blamed for these ones.
There, I already fixed it.
It's a black screen. Wait, let's see. Will it come back up? There we go. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason game capture doesn't work with OBS anymore.
Very strange, but
I've had that issue a few times lately. But anyway, like you were saying.
yeah, well, kind of like what you were saying is that the Kalista Kennen lane is just going to be so strong. Already just bullying them out a bit, forcing the early potion use from the Lucian, while Kalista going to be sitting pretty with hers, and of course the potions on the Kennen as well.
Oh, and there's the death sentence onto Literal. Just another auto attack coming out of Monkey Dude there. Surprisingly enough, Monkey Dude actually doing really well in farm. Sitting actually 2 CS ahead of Literal, despite the fact that he's been pushed in so hard and been taking so much poke.
Yeah, it's, you know, pretty well farming underneath the turret for Monkey Dude. It's a great skill to have, especially against someone that's going to be so aggressive like the Kalista Kennen. You know, they're constantly just going to be pushed up because really Monkey Dude.
Oh, and here comes the Dark Passage. That's going to be Ninja Kiwis taking the Dark Passage, trying to get onto Shaka Ka, but he is not going to be able to do much there. Shaka Ka and Literal are going to be safe towards their tower. In the top lane, we see Ganondorf and Forest of Eagles trading back and forth in damage. Forest of Eagles losing out in that simply due to the fact that he does have a mana pool where Shyvana does not, and Shyvana does have a slight early advantage onto Trundle. As you can see there, the amount of damage just going out onto him.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we expected. It was also, you know, Trundle having a lot more enemy minions in the area to deal with, which is another reason why he didn't come out on top of that trade. But it's to be expected that Trundle is going to lose out early on to Shyvana. But like I said, once they start getting some levels under their belt and Trundle starts getting that a little bit better sustain, he's going to have a much better time in that lane.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree there. I'm surprised that there has been no first blood, especially considering the track record between these two teams generally fighting quite often. 6 minutes in, and The only one that's relatively close to getting first blooded on is Monkey Dude. Oh, and that's the death sentence onto Shaka Ka. The exhaust is going out onto Monkey Dude. They're trying to get in on him, and that is actually not going to be finished up by Literal, who's actually sitting extremely low on mana. Dunazuka's here as well, just to provide some moral support, saying, the fat man's here. I'm helping.
Yeah, it was actually very close to... Before that even started, we were actually pretty close to getting the first blood, but everyone's just going to be staying pretty safe for the most part, as everyone just kind of goes back to doing their own thing. A lot of farming. Right now, Shyvana starting to build up a lead over Trundle in terms of CS, but Kalista doing the exact same thing to Lucian now, as Lucian just not able to hang around. Being forced to recall is going to set him behind in terms of CS. He did get the pickaxe, so it'll be interesting to see if Literal decides to just answer that with an immediate teleport back to base as well, or if they're going to stay down there and try and save up enough money for the BF sword, but deal with being at a slight damage disadvantage for the time being.
It looks like he did go back, though. He went ahead and picked up a recurve bow. We're going to be building maybe towards the Ruined Hurricane or Blade of the Ruined King, not too sure. Remember, they did change the recipe to Blade of the Ruined King to consist of a Bilgewater Cutlass and a recurve bow instead of what it used to be, which was a Bilgewater Cutlass and I think nothing, right? Oh, and that's going to be the Shockwave going out onto DGeter9. Great job on Tesk. However, he's going to be flashing away, and that's going to be Dunazuka throwing out the explosive cask after flashing. DGeter9 going to be taken down. Tesk getting the first blood with the command attack.
Yeah, great gank here from Gragas getting in. Did miss the initial body slam, but using that ultimate to just knock him back just enough for Tesk to go in and get the first blood. Getting extra gold onto Orianna is so important. If you can get her ahead early, it gives you a massive advantage and just gets her into that late game where she becomes a dominant presence a lot faster, that's exactly what you want when you run an Orianna. You're expecting it to take a while to get ramped up, but the more you can do to expedite that process, the better off
that was a great death sentence onto Shaka Ka, but Raunchy Spider going to be stunned up here. He's eating a lot of spears there. He needs to be careful for that rend. Oh my god, it's doing so much damage. That's going to be the heal forced out of Monkey Dude. And it's going to be Static forced to back off here in the bot lane. Oblivion doing fairly well across the map, except in the top lane where Ganondorf really putting the hurting on this Trundle.
Yeah, neither of them are going to be at too
That's the Dark
big
Passion.
of an,
That's going to be Ninja Kiwis coming in on this bot lane, forcing a flash immediately out of Literal. He tries to get the slow, but it's not going to come across. However, he did manage to force a flash out of the 80 carry of Kalista, so it's not a bad thing that he was down there. He was just unsuccessful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it put pressure on, though. It cleared up time, gave Monkey Dude some time to just focus on getting some CS, trying to get caught back up. It is just a very small CS lead at the moment, which is by having the jungle pressure in the lane, it just gives your AD carry the time and space to get their CS because of the fact that now the enemy team has to play careful of, oh, did he stick around? Is he going to be coming immediately? Is he going to get a camp and coming immediately back? Like, it puts so much into the mind of the enemy lane just by seeing the jungler show up.
Oh, Ninja Kiwis, he's going to be finding Dunazuka. There's the command Shockwave coming out of Tesk, as well as the explosive cast coming out of Dunazuka, but he is going to be stopped by the event horizon of Veigar. Unfortunate there. He used the explosive cast and sent Ninja Kiwis away from the Orianna.
Not the best of ultimate, definitely not at the level of his first one, where he pulled DGeter9 back towards his mid laner. Oh,
they're going to be finding Ninja Kiwis. That's going to be the body slam landing onto him. There's the Thunder Shuriken missing. Ninja Kiwi's going to have Shaka Ka, who flash slicing maelstroms onto him, and it's going to be another body slam, and Dunazuka getting the kill onto Ninja Kiwis there with the body slam auto attack. Test going to be taken extremely low here, forcing a flash on a Monkey Dude. He's going to go down to Monkey Dude there after a flash auto attack. Literal going to be the next target here for him. Literal going to be taken extremely low, but Monkey Dude is going to be just walking away, not going to pursue that kill any further. Dunazuka in a very bad spot here. He's going to belly slam over the wall, and Raunchy Spider not going to bother even dealing with him. He's just going to let him get away. Forest of Eagles pushing Ganondorf away, actually, having completed a Bilgewater Cutlass and a Null Magic Mantle.
Yeah, it looked like Oblivion there was trying to get control over the dragon area, putting both Kennen and Gragas in that area, but instead they ended up finding the Statics jungler, and then all of a sudden everything just went crazy as mid laners roamed down, AD carries roamed up, and it just ended up being a lot of fighting for only 2 kills that came out, 1 apiece. So not actually a whole lot being resulting from that, though there is still no real solid dragon vision for either team. There is 1 ward in the pit from Oblivion, but that's it. That's all the only vision of the area. So I do expect, with it being a little over almost 12 minutes in, we are going to be seeing both teams starting to put a lot more attention onto that objective.
In the top lane, we see Ganondorf and Forest of Eagles trading back and forth here. Forest of Eagles winning out slightly due to Trundle's passive, allowing him to have a lot of sustain. Here comes Ninja Kiwi trying to get in onto Tesk in the mid lane, but going to be forced to just walk away. So, great death sentence onto Shaka Kao while he was using the lightning surge, I think it's called, where he dashes around as like a ball of lightning.
Yeah, I believe even if that's not what it's called, it's what it should be called. So either way, it is going to be basically completely negating that ability, and nothing else really happening from that, just preventing him from getting any damage down.
Yeah, in the top lane, we see Ganondorf and Forest of Eagles. Forest of Eagles doesn't even care about Shyvana anymore. He's gotten to a point where he can pretty much just ignore the damage that she's putting out, because for those of you that don't know, Ganondorf on that Shyvana, granted he does do quite a bit of damage having the Skirmisher Saber, which gives him the Challenging Smite, which allows him to do extra damage. Trundle doesn't care simply due to the fact that his passive allows him to get HP back based on minions that die around him. Or anything that dies around him, rather.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier on. He's gonna, now that he's gotten to this point, neither of them is gonna have too much kill potential on the other. They're both just such strong top laners and such big beefy bruisers that neither of them is really gonna be in too much of a risk. Trundle should start being able to get a pretty sizable advantage.
Ganondorf facing onto Forest of Eagles, taking him down to half HP, really pushing him out of lane there. Forest of Eagles going to opt to just go ahead and return to base. However, it is going to be Oblivion starting up the dragon here. Dunazuka tanking that up. Forest of Eagles recall stopped in the top lane by the Flame Breath from Shyvana. And that's going to be literal stunned up by the Death Sentence from Thresh, followed up by the Snare from Skarner. And that's going to be the kill going over to Veigar onto Kalista. And then we're going to see Raunchy Spider maybe going down. Dunazuka picking up the kill there. And that's going to be Tesk picking up the kill onto Ninja Kiwi. This will be the dragon in favor of Oblivion. 2 kills to 1 in favor of Oblivion as well as the dragon.
Yeah, seeing that fight, it was just a really good ultimate from Gragas, but just unfortunately not quite enough, as everyone else was from Static was able to just collapse onto it. They did get they got 2 kills off it. They did lose the Kalista, and then of course getting the dragon. So it did give them a lot. It could have been
bad spot here. He flashed into DGeater 9. I think he thought he had his ultimate up, but not going to be able to get the kill onto him. Wasted flash from Dunazuka. But they did manage to secure the mid lane tower after losing their top lane tower.
Yeah, really aggressive from Dunazuka, but it did what he needed it to. It forced DGeater away from the tower to trade that back, so it's 1 apiece now. And right now, Oblivion starting to pick up small victories across the board, giving them a slight gold lead. Extremely slight. But
that's going to be Tesk hooked by the Raunchy Spider. Tesk going to be going down here. Dunazuka might be going down here as well. That's going to be the Dragon's Descent coming out of Shyvana. That picks up the kill. And in the backside, we did see DGeater 9 picking up the kill onto Tesk with that Veigar. The Veigar is actually getting pretty fed now. He's sitting on a completed Rod of Age, needlessly large Rod, and a Blasting Wand. So he's looking to complete that Rabadon's Death Cap extremely early and start scaling that heavy AP that Veigar does tend to get.
Yeah, he's going to become a big threat, but the problem with Veigar is he's kind of a one-shot threat. He has the threat of picking one target and just obliterating them, but his damage falls off in terms of a full-on team fight, he doesn't really have that much to provide outside of it's nuking a carry instantly, but then he doesn't really have too much damage to follow up after that. So, yeah,
See,
he's
but that's
going to be a
the
threat
exact
that you
thing
have to worry
about
about.
Vhagar, though.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, that's what I was saying. He is still a threat you have to worry about. But if you can just work your positioning around him, keep Orianna and Callista safe, and just let him, force him to use his abilities on the Gragas, on the Trundle. And then,
that's gonna be the flash from Ninja Kiwi. He's getting the hook onto Shaka Ka, but the Fate's Call from Callista saving him there. A waste of a summoner spell and an ultimate out of that Skarner, which is pretty good for Oblivion here.
Yeah, definitely Fate's Call just being an extremely strong ultimate. A lot of people, when Callista was first released, were just like very confused as to that ultimate, how it was going to work, if it was even going to be useful. And I'd say it is absurdly useful. The fact that you could just say, "Oh, my support is extremely out of position. Let me just push a button and save their life." And you can also just use it as an engagement tool as well. It's so strong, and they're seeing, Kennen's one of the better uses with it. A lot of people like Kennen, champions like Braum or Blitzcrank, other champions that have a lot of CC or knock up as well, to just put, throw them into the middle of the team and say, "Oh, while you're stunned from the knock up, here's a lot more CC and lockdown coming through as well."
Like Leona.
Yep.
Oh, that's gonna be the death sentence landing onto Shaka Ka. He's gonna be forced to flash away. Event Horizon did go down from Vhagar as well. Oh my god, Shaka Ka gonna be taken extremely low. And the flash ultimate from DGeter9 picking up the kill there for himself onto Shaka Ka, just instantly bursting him down. Force of Eagle's gonna be throwing down the subjugation onto Ganondorf. He's gonna be trying to out-duel him here. He throws down the Bushwater Cutlass as well. He's gonna be going down though. He's gonna be forced to flash. Ganondorf needs to get one more Flame Breath, and he does get it. That's the kill going over to Ganondorf there in the top lane. Trundle forced to flash away there as well. He thought he could outduel the Shyvana, but that Challenger Smite is just too strong.
And not only the Challenger Smite, but Shyvana is also just as tanky, if not tankier, than the Trundle. And Trundle has no damage other than that Cutlass. So Shyvana is able to just soak up the damage there, while Trundle was trying to do the same. Shyvana just unfortunately had a bit more, and like I said, with the Challenger Smite, the true damage coming through.
Getting hooked up there. She's gonna be forced to flash away there. There's the command shockwave coming out of her as well onto Ninja Kiwi. Ninja Kiwi's gonna be constantly chasing onto her. But here comes Literal. He has a completed Runaan's Hurricane. He's gonna be getting a ton of damage there from DGeter9, but he should be going down here. That's gonna be the shutdown going over to her. But Lucian coming in from the backside, gonna be picking up the kill onto Literal there as well. And that's going to be another kill going over to Oblivion here. Gragas picking up the kill there onto Skarner. Shaka Ka going to be the next target here. Monkey Dude picking up the kill there onto Shaka Ka. And that's a piercing light. That's another kill for Monkey Dude there. Double kill for him. Actually a triple if you count the fact that he did manage to also kill Literal there at the beginning of that fight. 3 kills going over to Static. 2 kills going over to Oblivion.
Yeah, kill sitting right now 9-6 in favor of Static. And despite it looked like Oblivion was the ones picking up the advantages earlier on, the solo lanes have started to become a very heavy point of contention. Shyvana actually now at 2-0-3 is really starting to outperform the Trundle, completely out-CSing him by about 30, which it was so back and forth up in that top lane earlier on. But with the extra gold that Shyvana's going to be picking up from these team fights that she's been participating in, it's going to just increase that lead even further and make her even more viable in those late game team fights than the Trundle is.
Not much really going to be happening right now. Oblivion just really licking their wounds right now and trying to figure out a way to recover. They're motioning towards getting another dragon here. However, Static, they do have the dragon timer, so they're looking to also make a dragon play here. Shaka Ka gonna get stunned up by DGeter9. Is he gonna go down? Oh, almost, but that's gonna be Monkey Dude actually picking up the kill there onto Shaka Ka. And right now we got 4 members of Oblivion and 4 members of Static here in the bot lane after having just taken out Shaka Ka. Oh, and that's gonna be the Event Horizon actually locking up 3 members of Static. And Literal gonna be taking it extremely low there. And it's going to be Ninja Kiwi's taking extremely low as well. The Runon's Hurricane Ren doing so much damage. That's going to pick up the kill onto Ninja Kiwi's. Lucian picking up the kill onto the Gragas as well. There goes the Dragon Descent from Shyvana. She picks up the kill onto Literal. And Oriana picking up the kill onto DGeater9. Lucian picking up another kill there onto the Trundle as well. Only 2 members surviving, or rather 1 member if you count members that were actually in the fights, surviving from Oblivion. Ganondorf going to be chasing Tesk around. Raunchy Spider is here as well. He's going to try and get the death sentence out onto him, and no, it's actually going to miss. Tesk going to be easily running away here. There's the Dark Passage going out onto Ganondorf. There's the Bilgewater Cutlass going out onto Tesk from Ganondorf, as well as the barrier, actually. Raunchy Spider might go down here. He does. Tesk picking up the kill there on the backside, knowing she's going to die. At least she gets something out of it. Shyvana picking up another kill there, and now sitting at 4-0-4 on that Shyvana. And the Lucian sitting at 7-0-2.
Yeah, right now the Lucian is being a huge carry for the side of Static, and if Oblivion can't shut him down, it's going to be like, this is going to start snowballing out of control pretty quickly. A fed Lucian is a very scary Lucian. There's also 4-0-4 Shyvana not found up in the top lane.
Really?
Yes, really. 100 over almost 200 CS now. Both of those two just being so strong right now, and if they can't get them shut down, I mean, one of them's a frontline tank and still hasn't died yet. That says something about the way that Static has been playing. All of it has been focused onto the Vigar and the Skarner for the most part in these fights. And
that's going to be the death sentence landing onto Shaka Ka. The Fate's Call saving him yet again. They tried to allow him to engage again, but it does not happen here. Shaka Ka going to be forced to actually flash away. There's going to be the barrel thrown out from Gragas, just trying to deter them a little further. He's just Vagar going to be throwing down the event horizon like, no, you stay away from my team. But it's going to be Static starting up the dragon here. DGeater9 gonna be, ooh, that pillar almost put him in a very bad spot. Grag is gonna be body slamming over the wall, but Skarner able to lock up the dragon. Shaka Ka gonna be taken extremely low here. He went in with a slicing Maelstrom, but he does go down. And that's gonna be DGeater9 picking up the kill there onto Shaka Ka. And then we see an even bigger fight here happening. Monkey Dude now going legendary, picking up a kill on that Gragas, and then Skarner picking up a kill on the Callista as well, sitting in that back line. Test gonna be the next target here. The event horizon does go out. That's gonna be Test stunned up. Should be Monkey Dude picking up the kill. No, are they going to give it over to DGeater9? No, actually, he misses the Q. The Monkey Dude going to be chasing further. A couple more auto attacks. One more, and that's going to be Monkey Dude now going legendary yet again. 9-0-4 onto that Lucian. Fantastic job on Static's part, getting a nice amount of kills there. Yet again, getting 4 kills in a team fight after securing an objective. It's 18-10 in their favor, and almost over 8,000 gold lead, and they have a tower advantage.
Yeah, really well fought from the side of Static, just starting to really bully their way around the map. And you know, I'm sitting there watching all these on a slight delay, so because I'm watching it through the stream, and every time they start going for objective, I'm just kind of tempted to shout out, "And he stole it!" and then just see if maybe I was right. I think that'd be.
Don't do that.
Just to see if it happens. You know, one of these times it would happen. You know, statistics say that I would be right at least once.
Oh, and they stole the Baron!
But that was such a good fight. I mean, Gragas got a beautiful ultimate off, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too late. And it wasn't enough for the rest of the team to capitalize.
The target here for Ninja Kiwis and Ganondorf. He's going to throw down the subjugation onto Ganondorf. However, he's going to be constantly trying to escape. One more auto attack from the Skarner should be able to stun up Forest of Eagles. Forest of Eagles is going to be flashing over the wall. There's the Dragon Cassette coming out of Ganondorf. He's going to be trying to chase further onto Forest of Eagles. A couple of more auto attacks to actually be able to pick up the kill, but Test, Yunazuka, and Literal are here as well. Going to be making them think twice about chasing any further onto their Trundle. But in the meantime, we see Lucian putting a lot of pressure there in the bot lane. 9-0-4. He has a lot of damage right now, and he's able to clear waves almost instantly. He's going to be able to take this bot lane tower with no contest. And it's just Static with the rotational play here, and very good on their part. So many people went up to deal with the Shyvana and the Skarner chasing the Trundle that everyone completely forgot about the Lucian that was pushing the bot lane.
Yeah, and it's not just a Lucian. It's a 9-0-4 Lucian with 2 completed items already in his inventory. You look over at the side of...
Oh, that's going to be the Death Sentence landing onto Forest of Eagles. Oh, beautiful explosive cast from Gragas. Dunazuka being able to pick up the kill on DG9. That's going to be Trundle picking up the kill there, shutting down Monkey Dude. Raunchy Spider going to be the next target here. Literal picking up the kill there onto Raunchy Spider. Ninja Kiwi is going to be the next target. Double kill going over to Dunazuka on that Gragas. And that was a 4-for-0 in favor of Oblivion now. And they look to go towards the Baron.
Yeah, it just completely caught them off guard. And it was really... Static that kind of went in on that. They could have gotten out of there pretty cleanly, but decided to try and re-engage the 4 versus 5. Shyvana was in the top lane the entire time, started the teleport very late, ended up canceling it. But by the time that Shyvana even apparently realized what was going on, they had already lost 2 to 3 members, so it wasn't worthwhile for them. And that's the kind of fight that Oblivion needs to get themselves back into this game. In those close quarter areas where they can stack up their ultimates. The command shockwave pulled in, I believe, 3 members. The Gragas ultimate knocked most people into a wall. And then, of course, Shaka Ka coming in with the Kennen ultimate, stunning everyone up. It was just so well timed and so well played in that fight. But they need to. The problem for Oblivion is that they did it once. They got the Baron out of it. But now they need to either make something happen with the Baron or try and get more fights like that. And it was a great job capitalizing on the mistake of Static, but I don't know if it was enough. I think they're going to need another, possibly another mistake to happen for them to be able to fully get back into this game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. And it's really completely dependent on whether or not Monkey Dude and DG9 can survive these fights. Trundle finally taking that top lane tower while nobody's kind of doing anything. There's a huge lull in this game right now. Which honestly I'm surprised considering how they do have the Baron. They do have the push advantage. So they should really just be sieging up a tower in mid. Oh, and actually it looks like they are going to go ahead and do that. But in the top lane we see Forest of Eagles and Ganondorf fighting yet again. And that's going to be the Bilgewater Cutlass thrown down from Shyvana onto Forest of Eagles. She's going to be chasing further. There's the Bilgewater Cutlass coming out of Forest of Eagles now. Is Shyvana going to throw down the Dragon's Descent? No, she's actually not even going to chase further against Forest of Eagles, even though she did take him down to about 20% HP.
Yeah, just not having vision on the rest of the team. She knew that they were in the mid lane and then kind of lost vision on them, didn't want to risk going too far in case they were making the rotation on up top as well. Would have put her in a very bad situation. So good decision there to back off. In terms of gameplay-wise, of course, us being the spectators, having sight of everybody, we know that she could have easily kept chasing it and gone for the kill. But when you don't have that information as a player, it's always better, almost always better to play it safe than sorry.
Whoa, what the heck? That's a bug. Kennen got stuck inside the pillar. You see it, right?
Yeah. Yes, I do. It
that
just
was
showed
a
up.
heal being burned there by literal. The damage coming out of DG9 was not something he was expecting. He was taking that to half HP with just 2 spells. And then instantly popping that heal, making sure he stays alive. It's going to be Oblivion rotating towards this dragon. Ninja Kiwi's going to be running into 5 members of Oblivion there. And it's going to be another fight here. Shaka Ka going in. There's the command shockwave going in, landing onto 2 members of Static there, but it's going to be DG9 picking up the kill there onto Shaka Ka, who doesn't even get to use the slicing maelstrom. Ganondorf going to be the next target here. He's going to be able to survive thanks to the heal from Lucian, and Lucian going to be able to pick up the kill there onto Gragas. Ninja Kiwi's picking up the kill there onto Orianna as well. That's 3 members have gone down in favor of Static, and they look to actually take the dragon instead. The Callista and Trundle, the only ones alive on the side of Oblivion. Ganondorf just going to be making sure that the bot lane tower does not go down, pushing that out, getting a little more farm on herself, sitting at almost 300 CS here. Forest of Eagles going to be finding Raunchy Spider. There's the play stopping his recall. And it's going to be them chasing onto the Trundle. DG9 tried to get him as well, but he was not able to get there in time. Trundle just going to be able to get away. He does still have his flash as well, so he just kind of threw down the frozen ground thing that I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, that fight was in the exact position that Oblivion would have wanted there, but their focus just wasn't quite as strong as it had been in the previous one. They put a ton of damage down to Shyvana, and Skarner was also taken pretty low, but that was it. Like they did a little bit of damage to Lucian, a little bit to Thresh, a little bit to Veigar, and that was it. They didn't actually say, okay, we're gonna go ahead and use our ultimates, our extremely powerful, game-changing ultimates, all like, one after another, and completely lock them down. Instead, it was just kind of all over the place, and a couple of them were stacked on top of each other, heavily reducing the effect of them. And again, the only being used on one person being another big problem with that one. So in the end, it did end up going over to Static. The Dragon was picked up, so second of the game for them. And now that they have approximately a 6,000 to 7,000 gold lead, they're going to look to just continue pushing this advantage that they have. They know that they can fight, and that's honestly what they've been looking for in the past couple minutes. They've been trying to get these fights. Only one of them really went against them, so why not just continue doing so?
Right now, I'm just Whoa, that's an explosive cask wasted.
That's never a good thing. It lets you know, especially if you can keep track of the timer. You have, that's one of those big ultimates in terms of team fights. So if you can, keep track of that timer. It was seen by the ward, I think. I don't believe the ward had been disabled.
It was. Because you can still see a champion when they're hitting that ward. Once they start hitting it, you can still get enough vision that you can see just around the immediate area of the ward. Mm-hmm. And the cask exploded right next to the ward.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if the ward had been hit or if it was still disabled at the time. But
either way, needing a command attack as well as a command it's command protect, command shockwave, command attack, and what's the other one?
Dissonance.
Command dissonance. Thank you.
We are seeing possibly them going to be looking for a fight in this bottom lane. They're just trying to push in the minions, keep pressure on the map, but Trundle has been just up in that top lane, shoving into that inner tower, and Shyvana did teleport up there to answer it, while Trundle went back, so having that summoner spell down is always going to be a good thing to keep track of. And by the time this next fight happens, that ultimate should be back up from Gragas, so not going to be any sort of negative impact from blowing that ultimate in the bush on the ward. Explosive cast doesn't move wards. So I'm not sure what he was thinking there.
But it should.
It should. That would be hilarious if you could actually move people's wards with like abilities that do knockback and stuff.
It's like, I see you placed a ward there. Oh, look, I just moved your ward to a place. It's completely useless.
Yeah. Oh, you warded Baron. Now your ward is over on Raptors. Enjoy.
So we are just going to be hitting yet another lull into this game. Not a lot of fighting going on, actually, compared to what we normally see out of both of these teams.
Even compared to what we've seen earlier. Up until now, they've been fighting pretty frequently. We've got 21 kills on the side of Static to 14 on Oblivion in just about under 35 minutes, but that's still a good amount of kills per minute. But over the last few minutes, it's been pretty slow. See, they should be going. I would have to expect Static to look for a fight here sooner rather than later. We do have Baron is live, and Dragon is going to be coming up in just about a minute or so.
1 second. And, oh, come on. Well then.
What?
I bug splatted.
Oh boy.
Give me a sec.
That's why you don't change settings mid-game.
I had to. It was screen tearing really bad for me.
So hopefully Cyberell will be able to get you back in the game.
Yeah, I'm already loading back in. It's fine.
Gotta load back in. There's going to be like 27 to 26 on kills all of a sudden.
Oh god.
Like one team's going to be...
No fight happened yet. No fight happened yet. I didn't miss a thing.
I was going to say, one team's going to be pushing the Nexus all of a sudden.
We're just going to be like, what happened?
So, still sitting at 21-14. Both objectives, or Baron's still live, Dragon's still coming up in a little under a minute.
This Veigar is sitting at almost 700 AP.
That's a lot of AP.
Oh, and Shaka's not going to be hit with the Descendant. There's the Dragon's Ascent going out from Ganondorf. He's going to be stunned up under the tower. There's the knockup. Dunazuka sitting right behind every member of Static. There's a beautiful command shockwave landing on the 3 members of Static. Shaka Kaka going to be going down to Ganondorf there. Shyvana picking up the kill there onto the cannon. Vegeta 9 going to be trying to run away from Dunazuka. Dunazuka going to be set back. Rairanchi Spider with the play. Good job on him. That's going to be the double kill going over to the Shyvana. Trundle going to be sitting in the middle of every member of Static right now. He's going to get Oriana actually picking up the kill there onto the Skarner. Trundle picking up the kill there onto the Thresh. Literal going to be looking to take the kill onto Ganondorf. And is it going to happen? Yes. Literal does get the kill onto the Shyvana. Shutdown going over to him. But in the bot lane, we do see Lucian having taken the inhibitor.
Yeah, that was another 4 versus 5 that Static took. This time, though, they actually had, a split push going on. So Lucian did get a lot out of that fight. I think most teams would be happy.
That was a flash command shot, command attack, command dissonance going out onto DG9 from Tesk, and that is a kill picked up there for the Oriana. Technically, that was a 4 for 2.
Even still, though, I think most teams would be perfectly fine with trading 4 for 2 and an inhibitor tower and inhibitor.
But they are going to get the dragon off the fact that they were able to kill so many members of Static.
So I don't think the dragon's going to be that big of a deal, though, if only because of the fact that now with both teams having 2 dragons, the chances of getting to that 5th dragon, 37 minutes in for the 2nd dragon to be picked up, that means that it's going to be a long time before either team can get 5. You're going to have to wait at a minimum. If both teams were exactly precise and took out dragon the instant it spawned, you would have a minimum of 18 minutes before you have to worry about either team being at 5 dragons. So dragon isn't going to be that much of a concern anymore. The chances of the game going that long are extremely slim. So, I mean, it can happen. You could end up, and that if it does go that long and a team gets that 5th dragon, that's very likely going to decide the game. But I just don't think that it's going to be as much of a priority focus because of the fact that it's already 2 apiece. Baron is going to be the much, much more important objective.
And considering the fact that they do have Kalista, Baron will go down extremely fast.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think the team should do here at this point? They're just kind of walking around each other at this right now.
Well, I mean, Static does have the advantage of super minions pushing that bottom lane. So they honestly should just try and continue stalling this out. Eventually, someone from Oblivion is going to have to go back to base to deal with those super minions. And because of the fact that it's especially in the bottom lane, like that gives you so much time to worry about getting a fight in an advantageous situation or starting up the Baron while they're dealing with those super minions.
And right when you say that, actually, Kalista went ahead and went down bot lane. But Static not even motioning towards the Baron right now. They're just pushing in the mid lane. If they just turn around and go for the Baron, it's either going to be a 4v5 at the Baron pit or an uncontested dragon in their favor. And it's going to be Dunazuka getting locked up there. Tess getting a lot of damage. They're forced to Zonia's right away. Is he going to go down? I don't know. But Shaka Kaka going to be going into 3 members of Static there. He's going to go down. Veigar picking up the kill there for himself onto that cannon. Literal finally joining in that fight. Event Horizon thrown down so they can't get the engage onto Ninja Kiwis. That's going to be the tower going down in favor of Static as well. Tesk was taken extremely low there, but just barely managed to survive. Dunazuka going to be caught by the Descendant as well. He is actually going to go down. Literal gets an exhaust out onto him. He's going to be forced to flash away. Event Horizon landing onto Forest of Eagles, but is not going to be able to enough to lock him down long enough so they can secure the kill. Forest of Eagles is going to be eating a lot of damage, though. There's going to be some more damage going out there from Literal onto Ninja Kiwis and Raunchy Spider. But in the top lane, we saw another tower going down in favor of Static. And it looks like now they are going to be motioning towards the Baron.
Yeah, that was a great job by the front line of Static. The Skarner and Shyvana completely split up the team. Kennen was entirely on his own on the back lines. Oriana got taken so low right off the bat that Tesk just wasn't able to do anything in terms of helping the fight for the team. And then, of course, Literal being down in that bottom lane dealing with the super minions wasn't able to do too much either. This should be the Baron going over without really any difficulty. I believe it actually has been taken already.
Yep.
And they are going to just be now with the Baron buff minions on the side of Static. They should be able to siege up a tower. And again, still having that bottom lane super minions for at least a little bit longer. It's going to be very difficult for Oblivion at this point to continue to defend off the onslaught of Static.
Holy crap, this Veigar has 935 AP.
With only 4 items.
Yeah!
4 items, almost 1,000 AP. That is an insane amount of magic damage. Not to mention, of course, the ultimate doing more damage based on how much AP the opponent has. He's just going to, if he hits that ultimate onto Orianna or even Kennen, they're just dead, flat out.
Or Gragas to a certain extent.
I don't know. Gragas doesn't have any AP built on him, so it's not going to do. But like any of those bottom 3, the Orianna, Kalista, Kennen, any of those, if they get hit by that ultimate, are just going to be pretty much dead. Kalista doesn't have AP either, but she is, just squishy as a base, so it's going to do a lot to her health bar if she gets hit by it.
They're just really trying to break this middle inhibitor tower. But the wave clear coming out from Orianna and Kalista is just a little too much to be able to push against, honestly.
With the Baron buff minions, though, they got some good damage on the tower. If they just stick around for a couple of waves, they are going to break it. But it looks like they did actually decide to play it a bit safer. They do have the open inhibitor in bottom lane, so that could be a target for them. Dragon is coming up in a little under a minute, so possibly going to look for that objective, get that extra move speed, help them to rotate between the 3 lanes.
Oh boy, Ninja Kiwi's finding 4 members chasing on after him. A beautiful distraction though. Every other member except for Shyvana pushing in this mid lane. And that's going to be an inhibitor tower going down. Dunazuka going to be targeted here by Monkey Dude. He's going to be going down. DG9 picking up the kill there. And this is going to be the inhibitor going down. Shaka Ka going to be found there by Ninja Kiwis. There's the stun. And Shaka Ka going to actually be able to get away here, though, is the question. One more stun should be able to go out from Ninja Kiwis onto Shaka Ka. Actually, he just misses the E. However, there's the lockup there. Monkey Dude picking up the kill on the backside there onto Shaka Ka. DG Denied eating a command attack, command dissonance from the Orianna. Taking extremely low there, about 35% HP. That's going to be the next target here. Monkey Dude dodging out the shockwave with the E. A relentless pursuit doing wonders there for Lucian. Veigar picking up the kill there onto Orianna. Force of Eagle's going to be the next target here. That Thornmail doing work for him though. But Monkey Dude still able to pick up the kill there. Getting the shutdown there onto the Trundle. That's going to be 4 members of Oblivion taken down and every member of Static alive. They should be able to end this game.
Yeah, that absolutely should be the game. What a great shot calling decision from the side of Static. There were so many members chasing after Ninja Kiwis on this Skarner in that bottom lane. They just said, you know what? They're all visible on the map. Shove mid as hard as you can. And it forced them all to split up. Ninja Kiwi survived with a lot of health still because he is so tanky. And it just let them continue to get these fights. Gragas was the only one there to defend that middle tower. And so he just got picked up by the 4-member onslaught of Static. And they just continued on their way on through. Pushed out the base. Took the Nexus down. And congratulations to Static picking up the victory here in our second match of the day. That's going to move Static's record on up to 4-3 on the season, putting them in a tie with Tfue for second place. Fortunately for Oblivion, going to be dropping to 1-6 on the season. Not having the best of seasons for them. Not necessarily the worst. Katsuo is just about tied with them. There are a couple teams that still have not picked up a victory either, but definitely a couple of things that they're going to have to work on if they want to be able to be competitive in future tournaments. But we will have to see, as that is going to do it for that game. We are going to be doing our getting set up for our third game of the night. It is going to be Forever Foolish taking on Team Elixir. We're going to be bringing the stream offline for just a moment and come back up. We will be I'll be taking over once again, and then we will hopefully be getting ourselves up into the action for our third and final game of the night.